Hello everybody and welcome back to a Jigsaw C Stuff video, and this is a radio podcasty episode, so there is going to be nothing on the screen, it's just going to be me talking. And what I'm going to be discussing today, completely off the top of my head, so sorry if it's a little bit rambly, is the fact that I am going to be moving away, running away, to be brutally honest, from iNav. Now, I actually have one flying iNav plane, which is the Dart, the regular Dart, the mini Dart, I suppose now. And I actually have another one that I'm in the process of putting in the Dart XL. And to be honest with you, I'm giving up on it mostly. I will explain at the end how I'm going to attempt to fall back in love with it. Not that I was ever really in love with it, ever, to be honest with you. To be honest with you, the only other flight controllers I've ever used are the Feiyutech FY series. So you had a couple of the FY21s, and then loads of the FY41s. I missed out the 31s, they weren't out for that long, and we're not that much of a change over the 21, to be honest. Because what's great with them is you just sort of plug everything in, you then turn the plane on, you flick a switch back and forth, and then you get a menu which in the top left has your PIDs, which you could just leave alone at 50, and your directions for the gyros, which you need to change. Then under that you have the direction of the flight controller, then you have the type of plane it is, whether it's a delta wing, a V-tail, something like that. Then you have max distances, which are the only real annoying bit of the setup, is setting your max distance to higher than whatever it comes out the box at. Because you just have to hold right aileron, or as I do, just create a mix that has full right aileron on. And then set the aircraft level and press the calibrate accelerometers or gyros or whatever it says, and there it's done. The only real sort of negatives of the FY41 is that thing in the menu with the setting the max distance, and unfortunately if you just set it to 0, it doesn't make it limited, it makes it literally 0, which puzzled me at one point. So you've got that. The fact it doesn't support S-Bus is also kind of annoying. And I'd like it if the current sensor was smaller. The stuff like the fact that it doesn't, the computer software doesn't work for it properly on anything other than Windows XP, which really doesn't matter because as I say, you can do everything through that menu. It's super simple. I've explained. This video is now just over 2.5 minutes long, and I've explained how you set up an FY41. Bang, it's done. Whereas, for example, iNav, there are many, many, many series of many episodes, and it's just I don't know why. To be honest with you, the other ones just work. I mean, especially considering, you're paying £35 for a F405 flight controller. You're then spending around £15 on a GPS. So what? That's £50 is what you're paying for flight controller. And to be fair, to say that you can get the FY for sometimes as low as 80, it's around £95 is what it normally sells for, but considering you can easily get 10% discounts and things like that, it's really not hard to get that relatively cheap. And yeah, so what I've decided to do is my little Dart, I'm just going to take everything out of it and just have it as a flying around wing, FPV wing. In terms of the Dart XL, which I think is just becoming more and more of a stick as I go along. But I thought this about the Tomahawk, and I quite like that. Oh, not the Tomahawk. Was it the Tomahawk? Oh, the bigger wing that people complained about it flapping, even though I never had a problem with it. So, yeah, because I do have a mini Drac behind me to build. I also have a Funjet kicking about somewhere to build. Both of which, not necessarily the mini Drac, but the Funjet definitely struggles for room for stuff, so having to have less cables and things for a mini, to have an F405 in it instead would have been nice. But what I've decided I'm going to do with the Dart XL is I have a Bixler 3 that is yet to fly, yet to be fully finished. It's more or less finished, to be honest. I'm going to take the FY41 out of that and put it in the Dart XL, so the Dart XL can get finished. And what I will do in the future is I will finish that Bixler 3 off as a normal plane, fly it a few times just to make sure everything's fine with it, because it is a kit. It's not a it wasn't a plug and play. So I'm going to make sure that that is fine and not going to cause any weird and wonderful problems. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that I'm going to put the F405 stuff back into the Bixler because it's a stable plane. It isn't going to be weird. I can sort of start from scratch, do everything fairly sensibly. Not that I was doing stuff weird before. But all I can say is I'm very glad. The main reason I flew the... Let me stop that. The main reason I flew the Mini Dart the other day was to make sure that... Because I had to reprogram it all again for like the third time before I pasted it into an expensive Dart XL, that everything was fine. I'm glad I didn't, because I ended up smacking into one of the heli patches at our field. Completely fine, funnily enough. The only thing that's, I mean, because the wings were glued on, one of them separated, so that just needs gluing back in. The magnetised on fin fell off, which is just a magnet, just pops back on, and the canopy snapped in half. But to be fair, if I had taken I'd got tape around it because I'd lost my rubber band. If it had been a rubber band instead of tape, I'd probably just pop the canopy off and it would have been completely fine. I mean, I saw it bounce up in one piece, so it's definitely stronger than the regular Dart. And to be honest with you, I've actually seen some people come up with very quick versions of the little Dart. So that'll be quite fun, possibly convert it to that. I did upgrade the motor mount on it to one I found on Thingiverse, 3D printed that. Pulled quite hard on it to create a load of downthrust, and that seemed to more or less fix the issue. You know, in manual mode, it does fly fine. In auto balanced, it was a piece of shit. And then trying to do height as well, altitude hold, made it crash. I was having to hold full up to make it do anything. Then I turned, and because of the way that the Mini Dart flies, it does drop quite a lot. I just didn't have enough elevator, it just sort of span and smacked in at full blast. I just bounced, amazingly. As I say, some bits fell off, but it wasn't a lot. But yeah, this is an update video. It is a little bit late, apologies for that. But then we will organise something soon. But anyway, thank you all for watching. See you on the next one. Bye bye.